Hey everybody, and welcome to First Lutheran Church in Muskegon, Michigan. I'm Cody Blust, the intern here, and I'm going to show you all around today. As you can see, we're on more of a business street. We have a lot of banks around the street. We have Goodwill. We have a barber shop. We have some more businesses on down the road. One thing that we do have here that's new is this bike path right in front of me. They just completed this section a couple of weeks ago. And the intent is to eventually go on down the road a little ways and start some more, and eventually be able to go all the way to the next town. So with that, before it starts raining on me again, let's go inside. Alright, so before we go on into the building, I'm going to stop here for a second and show you all the front doors because they're very unique. And the first time I came to visit last May, they were the very first thing that caught my eye. As you can see, the four front doors of the church are all carved wooden doors, and each of these figures is to represent a different gospel writer, from Matthew to John, and these are just very beautifully well done.
Welcome to the sanctuary at First Lutheran Church. As you can see, we have a very open and airy sort of feel to our worship space. So as we flow through the worship service, we can also flow through the space that we have provided. A couple of historical facts for the church. It was started in August of 1864. So this is an older church. It's been around for a while. And up until 1908, all the services at first were done in Norwegian. The church moved from its original building in 1872 over to Giddings and Yuba, which is about 5 minutes from where we are currently. The church would be there until 1955. It was during this time that they were over on Giddings and Yuba that the transition to English services happened, and that the church was renamed to First English Evangelical Lutheran Church. And it would bear that title up until its move to the building we're in currently. And the church that was on Yuba, that building, was bought by a Baptist church, which still meets there to this day. Now the church building that we're in now is the original church for this site, but with a few additions. The narthex that we have now was not here until 2003. The back of the sanctuary was also the front of the church building. And a couple other areas I'll show here in a few minutes, like the administrative wing and the Family Life Center, were also added in 2003 in this expansion of the church building. So here we are in my office. As you can see, I have my personal idol hanging up behind me, Martin Luther. Wouldn't be where I am without Martin, so props to him. So yeah, just to kind of wrap some things up, the congregation, as I was told when I visited in May, is so welcoming. They've basically welcomed me with open arms and said, "We are so glad you're here." I can't even tell you how many invites to go and have breakfast or a cup of coffee or whatever with people that I've gotten, because they just really are invested in the internship program and really want to get to know me as the intern. They're also very laid back, whereas some churches are very high and we got to burn incense every week and all this. The congregation is very laid back. They'll joke as they see fit, and even during service there's always some talking. There's always a ton of activity when it comes time to share the peace, and there's just this freeness to, if me or Pastor Bill would say something when we preach, that people will actually respond to it, whether it's a question, there's an answer given, or if there's a joke and people actually laugh at the jokes, maybe out of pity, who knows. Jokes get bad sometimes, but it's just such a laid back place where they're like, yeah, we get you're here to learn, and we want to give you that space, and we'll give you feedback, and in the end we'll all laugh about the good, and we'll think about the bad, and then when the bad becomes funny, we'll laugh about that too. And so it's been a very, very great transition, especially moving from Ohio, where I've lived my entire life, up here to Michigan. It's a big culture shock, and they've been more than gracious with me as I adjust to that. As far as ministries we do, there's a lot. I mean, I could start listing stuff off, but then my video would be well over the 5-minute limit, and I don't want to do that because we're all busy interns. But one in particular is the Family of Promise program, which basically once every so many weeks we open our building up and we have families who don't have home or shelter. They come and they stay here, and we give them a place to sleep, we give them breakfast and dinner, and we give them a ride back to the day shelter. And it's really this outreach to be able to go to people who maybe we may not necessarily get to because of where we are geographically, and to be able to welcome them in and to say, you're welcome here, feel free to rest. And so it's a very intriguing, very profound sort of ministry we do that I'm very excited when I get to help with it. So that's everything really in a nutshell for First Lutheran that I can get into a 5-minute video. So yeah, I'll see y'all in intensives in a few weeks.